Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda and I'll be guiding our practice today. And my question for you as you begin today is this: how is God revealing His glory to you? I was reading through Exodus, the story of the birth of a nation. And the Israelites are in the desert. They are scared, they are doubting God, they are grumbling, they are complaining, they are worried about what they will eat and what they will drink. And Moses goes to the Lord. And then Moses and Aaron come back to the Israelites and say this: "In the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt. And in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because He has heard your grumbling against them." As they were speaking, God's glory shone in a cloud above Aaron's head. And that night quail came down from heaven, and the people had meat to eat. And the next morning they woke up, and there was manna on the dew of the grass, the bread of life, the bread that would sustain them throughout their journey in the desert. The glory of the Lord showed in that cloud above Aaron. But Moses said the people would see the glory of God in the morning. The glory of God was also in the provision of the Lord, in the manna from heaven. And notice this: "In the evening you will know it was the Lord, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because He has heard your grumbling." He is showing them His glory because they are in a place of doubt, because they are in a place of anxiety, because they are in a place of fear. The Lord is showing them His glory to reassure them, to encourage them. How is God revealing His glory to you right now? Come to a comfortable seated position, maybe elevating the hips up on a blanket or a block. Rock side to side, front to back. Find those two sitting bones underneath you and settle in. I invite you to close your eyes and begin to find alignment. Drawing the belly in a little bit as you lengthen through the spine. Stacking the vertebra, letting the head rise up towards the ceiling. Notice the curves of the neck and the spine. Begin to find your breath. And then begin to deepen the breath, breathing in and out through the nose, breathing all the way down towards that pelvic floor with that inhale, expanding and creating space, finding strength and stability in that exhale as the breath travels back up the body. As the breath of God moves through you, think about the ways that you have seen His glory in the past. Sometimes it comes with a shout, a miracle, the appearance of the angels to the shepherds. Sometimes it comes in a whisper, the silence as Elijah listened for the Lord outside of his cave. Where have you seen the provision of God, the encouragement of the Lord, the hope of the Lord? Begin to connect movement with breath, those arms rising up and overhead as the gaze comes up, and exhale as you bow your head. Just continue here, finding length up and down the spine. One more time. And then hands down, pressing into that right arm, bring that left arm over, beginning to stretch the sides of the body. Come up and over, go the other direction, back and forth here. One more time. Let the hands come out, still warming up. Draw the belly in as you find cat. And press those palms away and open the heart to the sky as you find cow. Back and forth here. Begin to consider all of the ways that God is at work in your life right now. And one more breath here. As you're ready, interlace the fingers, find that cat. And anchor in, head bowed, and begin to breathe into the back of the body. And sometimes when God reveals his glory, we come to him on our knees in worship. Go ahead and press those arms out and rise up. And exhale as those hands come down, opening up shoulder to shoulder, gaze coming up. And sometimes when God reveals his glory, we receive it with delight, with wonder. Taking a deep breath in, arms rise up, hands to heart. Take 3 breaths here. Asking God to open your eyes, to open your ears, to create an awareness of all of the ways that he is working through you and around you. Exhaling, bring the hands down. Today's practice is going to be a practice of leg strength and stretch. So we'll start with a hamstring stretch, maybe bounce your knee, windshield wiper your feet, and then activate the muscles of the leg. If you have really tight hamstrings, maybe there's a block or a blanket underneath that knee. Exhale forward, inhale back. Begin to connect that breath and movement again. Begin to lead with that breath again. One more time here, just noticing any places of tension, of extra sensation. And as you're ready, come forward into that hamstring stretch. Maybe you adjust the hips a little bit. Maybe you activate the muscles of that leg a little bit more. Shake the head out, no and yes. Take that right hand to the center of the thigh and press down for 2 breaths. And taking a deep breath in, rise up. And exhale into that fold again and just see where you go and stay there another 2 breaths. Gently press into your hands and come up. Bring those legs in front of you and just bounce the knees and windshield wiper the feet. And for just a moment, closing your eyes, just check in and just notice the way the body feels. Right side compared to left. Then bring that left leg out to the side and that right foot in. You're creating a tree pose here with your legs. Again, just maybe bounce this leg that's extended and then activate it. Push the heel away. Draw that hip crease back. And exhaling, come forward, and inhaling, come back. And 2 more times here. As you're ready, come forward. Let the nose come down towards the knee. Shake the head out, no and yes. Find your breath. What do you notice here? Again, bring that left hand to the center of the thigh. Press down for 2 breaths. And taking a deep breath in, rise up. And exhale forward again and just go wherever the body takes you. And stay there for 2 breaths. As you're ready, gently press into the hands and rise up. Go ahead and bring the legs underneath you. Meet me in table. Fingers spread wide, a little bubble of air in the palm of the hand. Eyes of the elbows facing in towards each other. The shoulders externally rotated. Begin to find cat and cow here. And just noticing what is the response of the body now. One more time, cat to cow. Meet me back in table. I invite you to take your right leg back behind you. Begin to roll over the foot and then press that heel back. So explore range of motion in the foot, sensation in the foot and the ankle. And begin to find that stretch in the muscles of the calves. As you're ready, press that heel back, raise that leg up to parallel. Twice, just bring that heel into the hip and extend. A little bit of a stretch in the quadriceps there. And then bring that heel back, and maybe you stay there, or maybe that left arm reaches up, palm pressing to the outside, reaching all the way around as that foot comes to the hand and the hand comes to the foot. And you find a hamstring stretch as you push that foot away and into the hand. When you're ready, release and meet me back in table. And curl the toes under, bringing the knees into the rib cage. Draw the head in between the hands, shake it out, pedal through the feet. Just notice, maybe one leg is tighter than the other after that sequence. Deep breath in, heels rise, exhaling, heels come down to the mat. What do you notice? Stay here for 2 breaths. Begin to let the body soften even as you activate the muscles. Effort with ease. Come into a plank. Draw the knees down, meet me in table. Let that left leg come back, heel back again, just rolling over the foot. Noticing the response. Maybe 3 more times here. Finding an active stretch of the gastrocnemius in the calf. Again, exploring range of motion as well. That will affect your practice. As you're ready, flex the foot. Raise that leg up parallel to the floor. Find balance, hips square to the mat. That heel comes into the hip and extends twice. And then as you're ready, bring that heel to hip. Maybe that's enough of a stretch right there as that knee lifts up a little bit towards the sky. Maybe that right arm reaches, palm presses out, reaches all the way back, catches the foot or the ankle, foot presses into hand, hand presses into foot. Finding that quadriceps stretch. And as you're ready, release. And curling the toes under, bring knees up and into that rib cage. Let the head hang. And pedal through the feet and notice what you notice. And then as you're ready, deep breath in, heels rise, and exhaling, bring the heels down toward the mat. Find your breath. Drawing the gaze forward, bring the right foot in between the hands. Let that back knee tap down and up. Left thigh to the sky. Stay there. Begin to find the hip stretch, that stretch in the psoas, creating a little bit of distance from that front knee and that back heel. One more breath here. And then find balance as you rise into your lunge. Soften that back knee just a little bit. Right hand to the small of the back. Left arm comes across. Find your twist. And one more breath here. Taking a deep breath in, come back to center. Front foot comes to the back. Meet me in plank. From plank, come down to the mat. Bring those forearms to the side and round the shoulders a little bit forward. Chest comes off the mat. And then glide up, just bringing those shoulder blades around the back and underneath. Exhale down. And come back up. And one more time down and up, but this time stay up. And find your Sphinx. And press through the tops of your feet. And stretch the abdominals. Let those shoulder blades float down. One more breath here. Exhaling, hands to rib cage. Come back through table. Tilt the hips towards the mat as the toes curl under. Bring the knees in. Shake your head out, no and yes. Pedal through your feet. Meet me in downward facing dog. And I invite you to stay here and find breath. Drawing the gaze forward, bring the left leg forward in between the hands. Back knee taps down and up. Again, a dynamic stretch of the hip before we go into that static stretch. So now beginning to hold the stretch. That back heel pressing to the back edge of the mat, the front knee reaching towards the front of the mat. Front knee right over the ankle. Can you find that stretch in the psoas muscle in the front of the hip? Engaging through the abdominals, come to your fingertips, rise up into your lunge. Bend that back knee just a little bit, find your balance. Left hand to the small of the back, bring that right arm across, find your breath. As you're ready, release. Let those hands come down to either side of the front foot. This time, bring that back foot to the front. Meet me in that first forward fold. Holding onto the elbows, shake your head out, no and yes. Find your breath. Begin to find length in the spine as the top of the head reaches towards the mat. And maybe those hamstring muscles behind the thigh reach up and into the hips. Stay here for another 2 breaths. Hands to shins, rise up halfway and exhale down and rise up into your extended mountain and bring those palms together. But today, let's bring those arms out in a Y. Let the gaze come up. Open to the revelation of God's glory. And then exhaling, forward fold. Bowing in humility. That next inhale, hands come up halfway and exhale and come down and one foot back and then the other and meet me in plank. Come down to the mat. And then choose your back bend. Maybe you're still in Sphinx. Maybe you're rising into that low cobra. And exhale down and hands to rib cage. Come back to table and curl the toes under. Knees to rib cage. Find that downward facing dog, extending the legs. Stay here for 2 breaths. On that next inhale, right leg rises high and gaze comes forward as the foot comes all the way through and Come up to your fingertips and bring your arms forward and then rise into your lunge. Exhale here, hands to thighs. Gently press the thigh towards the knee, the quadricep a little bit towards the knee. Bring the knee over the ankle. Draw the shoulders back. Engage the abdominals as you lengthen through the spine. Sink into that front hip. Extend that back leg as straight as you can and then just micro bend that knee. Bring the arm up and find your lunge here. Find balance for a breath. And then from here, you're going to bend that back knee down towards the mat 3 times. It's just a dynamic lunge here. 3 times that back leg bends and straightens. As you're ready, hands to heart, hinge forward, bring that outside arm, that front arm outside of the, didn't say that well at all. Find your twist. Outside of the arm comes to the outside of the leg. So you're twisting towards the inside of the front leg. As you're ready, release. Hands to either side of the foot. Bring the back foot to the front. Meet me in forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhaling, come down, bring hands forward, lifting your heels, sink into your hips. Hands come back to the pinky toe, feet come to the mat as the hips rise. From here, rise up into your chair pose. And find a strong chair. So I invite you here as well. Take the hands to the thighs. Begin to draw the shoulders up just a little bit. Engage the abdominals. Feel the work in the front of the leg, in the front of the shins, in the anterior tibialis, in those quadriceps. Let those arms rise up. Inhaling, come all the way up, mountain pose. Bring those arms out, find a back bend. Arms rise again with that inhale, exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway, exhaling, come down one leg back and then the other, meet me in plank. From plank, come down to the mat. Move with your breath. And maybe the hands glide all the way back towards the hips as you rise into that upward facing dog. Curling toes under, meeting me in downward dog. Find your breath. Taking a deep breath in, raise that left leg up to the sky. And drawing the gaze forward, bring the foot all the way through the hands. Bring those hands forward and up and rise. And find your lunge. So again, hands to thigh. Gently bring those muscles a little bit forward. Extend that back leg, draw shoulders over hips. Micro bend that back leg as the arms rise. Find your balance for a breath. Begin to find the work of the lunge as the knee drops down to the mat and rises. So again, that back leg bending and straightening. One more time. Find the balance again, hands to heart. Hinge forward at the hips. Wrap the rib cage around. That arm comes to the outside of the leg. Again, twisting towards the inside of that front leg. One more breath here. As you're ready, exhaling, hands come to either side of the foot. Hop the back foot forward, find your forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway, exhale down, bring the hands forward as the heels rise, hips to heels. Hands come back to either side of the little toe, foot presses into the mat. Meet me in chair pose. Again, hands to thighs, gently just drawing the shoulders up and back a little bit, finding a little more length in that spine. Weight is slightly forward on the foot. Arms rise. Open to God's glory. And deep breath in, as arms come up and the hands come together. This time, take the hands to the small of your back. Begin to find your back bend here, pressing into the sacrum bone. And then deep breath in as the arms rise, exhaling, find your forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway, exhaling, come down, one leg back and then the other, meet me in plank. Move with your breath. Find your back bend as you move into downward facing dog. Stay here for 2 more breaths. So inviting God's glory to fall over you. That next inhale, right leg rises high. Gaze forward, foot comes in between the hands. Rise up into your lunge. Find that strong lunge. Bend that knee. 3 lunges here. Back leg bending and straightening. Stay in the strong lunge, hands to heart, hinge at the hips. Rotate those ribs around and find that. Go ahead and find that twist. Maybe this time the arms open. Stacking shoulders, maybe the gaze behind you. Just find what works for you. Exhale and release, hands to either side of the foot. Back foot hops to the front. Forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway, exhale down. Hands come forward as you lift the heels. Hands come back to the feet, press into the feet, rise into your chair pose. Settle into your chair pose. Rise up into mountain, let those hands come down. Go ahead and come up into a calf raise. And release. And again, those palms coming all the way up, palms facing in as they rise. Whoops, find your balance. Exhale down, let's do that twice more. If you're struggling with balance, find a focal point in front of you. Find your center of gravity somewhere around that belly button. 1 more deep breath in, feet flat to the mat. Exhale, forward fold. And hands to shins, rise up halfway and exhale down. And 1 leg back and then the other and meet me in plank. And however you choose to do it, find your way back to downward facing dog. And settle here for a few breaths. Begin to make downward facing dog strong. Engaging the muscles of the legs, the abdominals. Breathing into those arms, pushing those arms forward with breath. And the next inhale, the left leg rises high. Gaze forward, the foot comes all the way through the hands. Rise up into your lunge. Find your lunge. Find your balance. Three lunges here. So you're just going to drop to where that front leg is parallel to the mat. So how far down you go is, just depends on your anatomy. Try not to drop the hips below the knee. And then as you're ready, find your balance. Hands come to heart. Hinging forward, wrap the ribs around. Find your twist. Maybe you open the arms up in the twist. Maybe the gaze comes behind the body. Exhaling, meet me back at center. Bring the back foot forward. Find your forward fold. And hands to shins, come up halfway and exhale down. Bring those hands forward and lift the heels and drop the hips. Hands come back to the pinky toes. Stay here, find your chair pose. Again, maybe hands to thighs as you straighten that back up just a little bit. And I invite you then to just bring your hands to your heart. Go ahead and press into that right foot as that left foot comes out to the side and taps and comes back to center. Press into the left foot as the right foot comes out. And 2 more times here. And as you're ready, rise up into mountain. Let the hands come down and let the heels rise, finding those calf raises again, finding balance. 3 times here. As you're ready, arms rise. Exhale, bring the hands to the small of the back again, finding a back bend here. And then deep breath in, arms rise. Exhaling, find your forward fold. And hands to shins, rise up halfway and exhale down. And one leg back and then the other, meet me in plank. And from plank, come down to your mat. And however you choose to do it, find your back bend. And find your way back to downward facing dog. And stay here for another breath. On the next inhale, right leg rises high. Gaze forward, foot comes in between the hands. Just building on where we've been, rise up and find that lunge. Anchor into the lunge, find your balance. 3 dynamic lunges as the knee comes down towards the mat and the leg straightens. Find your balance there, hands to heart, hinge forward at the hips. Let the arms come across, find your twist. Extending through that back leg, finding as much length as you can from the top of the head to the heel. Stacking shoulders. Exhaling, bring the hands to either side of the foot. The back foot comes up to the front. Meet me in forward fold. And hands to shins, rise up halfway and exhale down and bring the hands forward and lift the heels. Hands come back to the feet. Press the feet down. Meet me in chair pose. Lengthen through the spine. Engage the abdominals. Find your chair. Pressing into the left foot, tap the right foot to the side. Bring it back. Press into the right foot. Bring it back. 2 more times here. Each direction. You still breathing? Can you keep the body still? Rise up into your mountain. Let the hands come down. 3 calf raises here. One more time. I invite you to press into that left leg, press into the right foot, bring that left foot up. Find a quadriceps stretch again. So the knee will point down towards the mat. That foot will press into the hand. If you want a little more balance or a little help with balance, maybe that front arm extends. It'll be more challenging if the thumb is at the sternum. And then from here, keep the leg where it is. Bring hands to heart. You're engaging the muscles of the legs now. Flex that foot. Come all the way back. Meet me in Warrior 3. And then as you're ready, rise up into mountain. Hands come to the small of the back. Find your back bend. Deep breath in, arms rise, and exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhaling, come down. Meet me in plank. And again, from plank, just come all the way down to the mat. Find your back bend. Exhale your way into downward facing dog. Drawing the belly in, pressing the heels towards the mat. Make it strong. One final time through. Left leg rises high. Gaze forward, foot comes all the way through. Meet me in lunge. Make the lunge strong and stable. 3 lunges here as that back knee drops towards the mat and then the leg extends. Breathe your way through it. Hands to heart, hinge forward, find your twist. Make the twist right for you. Maybe you're still in a high twist. Maybe those arms are open. Exhaling, bring the hands to the, either side of the foot. The back foot floats up to the front. Meet me in forward fold. And hands to shins, rise up halfway and exhale down. Hands forward, heels rise, hips drop. Hands come back, heels drop, hips rise. Body rises, find your chair pose. Pressing into the right foot, left leg taps to the side. Pressing into the right, or left foot, right leg taps to the side. Opposite of what you did last time. And 3 times each direction. Are you still moving with breath? And how still can that body be? Rise up into mountain. Exhale, hands down to the side. 3 times calf raises, finding that focal point in front of you, belly in. Anchoring from the abdominals. Using breath to create length as you rise. Exhaling your way back to earth. Hands to heart. Step into that left foot, right heel comes back up to the hips. Right hand comes down, hold on to that foot, find your quadriceps stretch. So that knee is going to come straight down towards the mat. Lift the body up and out of the hips. Balance is an issue. Go ahead and bring that opposite arm forward. It'll be a little more challenging if the thumb is at the sternum. Press hand into foot, foot into hand, and then keep that as that hand releases. Leg is on fire. Press it back. Find that warrior 3. And rise back up into mountain. Hands to the small of the back, find your back bend. Deep breath in, arms rise, and exhaling, meet me in forward fold. And shake your head out no and yes. And hands to shins, rise up halfway, and exhale down, and one leg back, and then the other, meet me in plank. This time, from plank, come down to your knees, and child to table twice. First child pose of the day as you draw those hips back. Rise into table one more time, child to table. Meet me in child's pose and adjust accordingly. Maybe the knees come a little wider or a little narrower. Maybe those hands are in front of you, palms down or palms up. Maybe the hands are behind you, wrapped around your feet, or palms up. Wherever you are, imagining the wonder of the shepherds as the angels sang to them, of the Israelites as the glory of the Lord shone over Aaron's head, of the Israelites as they woke up to manna on the ground. Where has God revealed his glory to you? Where is God revealing his glory to you? I invite you to stay here for 3 more breaths. As you're ready, gently come up. Come to a sitting position, bringing your feet in front of you, wide on the edge of the mat, and gently let the knees drop side to side. And then bring the feet hip width apart, hands to shins, find cat and cow. 2 more times here. Are you leading with your breath? As you're ready, hands down at your hips, come down to your back. Notice the way the body has settled onto the mat. And then bring the knees and the feet in a little bit and just draw a circle on the ceiling, just massaging all the way out around that sacrum bone. Maybe you go the other direction. As you're ready, come back to center. Gently draw the knees into the rib cage and away, back and forth here. Exhaling as the knees come in, inhaling as you push them away. 1 more time. Let the feet come to the mat and extend them long all the way down to the end of the mat. And begin to windshield wipe at your feet and bounce your knees and wiggle your hips. Begin to find Shavasana. Let the hands rise up to the ceiling. Palms face in. Let the shoulders thump to the mat. Do that twice more. The hands come all the way down to the hips, and I invite you to turn your head side to side from the top of one ear up and over to the top of the other. And settle at center, and for a moment, just notice the way the body has settled on the mat. The feet and the legs, the hips, the curves of the spine and the neck, the weight on the shoulder blades, the arms. Begin to relax the muscles of your face, your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. Maybe the tongue comes down to the bottom of your mouth. As you settle into Shavasana, I invite you to ask the Holy Spirit to open your eyes and your ears and your mind to all of the ways that He reveals His glory around you. I invite you to stay here a little longer if you can. If you need to move on with your day, reconnect with your breath. Begin to bring movement back, wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles, turning your head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, bring arms up and overhead and just stretch as long as you can. Reach. And as you're ready, bend your knees and roll over onto your side. Finding breath. And the next inhale, press into your hands and rise up to sitting, crossing your legs in front of you. Check in one final time, body, mind, and soul. Noticing what has changed. Noticing also what has stayed the same and accepting it as it is. Deep breath in, arms rise, palms together, and exhaling, hands come to heart. Holy God, your glory shines all around us. And we are so grateful that no matter how discontented we are, no matter how much we stiff-arm you or wander away, you continuously show us your glory to draw us back into your love. God, we thank you that there is nothing that we can do that will ever separate us from the love that you have for us, and that you will always pursue us. It is in the name of Jesus, the Christ, the King of heaven, that we pray. Amen. Thank you for practicing with me today.